Good morning. My name's Chris Jack. Welcome to the Lansdowne Church Morning Devotion. Joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Joyful in hope? I wonder what you're hoping for today. Perhaps that it won't rain. Perhaps you're hoping that the car will start after you haven't used it for a few days. Maybe you're hoping that the children will settle down well to their homeschooling today and get on well with their studies. Or maybe you're hoping that your football team will win. Or perhaps that lockdown will end soon. Or maybe there are more serious hopes even than that. The hope that you won't be made redundant. The hope that the job interview you have today or later in the week might be successful. The hope that a loved one who's seriously ill will make a good and full recovery. Whatever your hopes for today, or any day for that matter, I have to tell you, I'm afraid, that there is a strong chance that those hopes will be disappointed. Some of them at least. Maybe many. Perhaps even all. For the reality is that many of our hopes are simply not fulfilled, are they? Hope so often brings disappointment, does it not? Even despair. So how can Paul talk here in Romans 12:12 about being joyful in hope? Is he having a laugh? Is he really serious? Well, perhaps what we need is to understand that there are two kinds of hope. The first has to do with possibility, the things we want to happen, the things we would like to happen, but which may or may not. And isn't it the case that all our human hopes, all our hopes for this life, actually fall into this category? But there is another kind of hope. And this is the kind of hope Paul is referring to here. It has to do with certainty. This hope isn't related to what will happen today or tomorrow, but it's a hope that's grounded in God, in His promises and His purposes. It's grounded in particular in the knowledge that whatever happens, whatever other hopes of ours may be dashed, our hope of what is to come, our hope of what God has prepared for us in heaven, when He takes us home to be with Him, or when Jesus returns, this hope is certain. This is the Christian hope of which the New Testament so frequently speaks. You remember, Paul writes in 1 Corinthians 15, "If only for this life we have hope in Christ, we are of all people most to be pitied." He goes on, of course, to talk about the glorious resurrection that is, in fact, the hope, the expectation of every Christian believer. This is the kind of hope that Paul is referring to when in Romans 5 he says, "Hope will not disappoint us." It's the hope that the writer of Hebrews describes as firm and secure, an anchor for the soul. What are you? What am I hoping for today? If our hope is in God, in the knowledge of our security in Him, in the assurance of being in His hands and care, and of our life with Him beyond this earthly life, then we have more reason than enough, do we not, to be joyful in hope. And being joyful in hope is the key, isn't it, to being patient in affliction. We endure now in the light of what is to come. And doesn't this inspire us to pray and to be faithful in prayer? Joyful in hope. May we rest in the sure knowledge of our God and his plans and purposes for us, of the resurrection to come, of all that lies ahead for us, and therefore be truly joyful in hope. And I hope you have a good day. God bless you.